Alright, welcome back, guys. It's another video here. Today we're looking at the NASDAQ, looking at the monthly, weekly, daily in time frame with some news and a bit of COT report as well. So obviously we can see here price came down and tested this low, which is the 13,000, 11,000 range. Price went back to retrace to collect liquidity. As you all know, the market is what we call a wave. So price comes down, you know, test the lows, go and test the lower high, coming down, create a lower low, lower high, lower low. So that's how the market works. And obviously this shows that we are on what you call a bearish structure. As we can see, there's a trend going on here, a declining trend, which is a bearish trend anyways. Now going back to what we see, so obviously we can see that from our last previous price, we saw that price was in a what we call a pullback or retracement zone. So from what we can see here, if we put obviously our last bearish run, we can tell that you know price has come and retested the 38.2 Fibonacci retracement ratio, which normally suggests that the retracement has either been completed in terms of price has, this is where most traders do take profit or, I'm saying, retrace fully before they enter more sell or more downside trade or change the direction. So based on the Fibonacci, we can tell that price has come and tested the golden ratio, which is the 38.2, and obviously price has dropped. Now what we see, we have a very what we call a strong support in this in monthly time frame. So here, this is where price would either show us, you know we can see a break here. So either price can come here, break this support and go down, obviously retest the support, turn the resistance, and obviously form a bearish structure. However, this is the current structure we're seeing on the monthly time frame. So let's just go on to the weekly. So now on the weekly, we have a similar like pattern in terms of price, falling down, coming up, creating a double bottom here, price going up and coming and test it. Now we can see that price has formed what we call a double bottom here. As we can see, one went up, failed to obviously break the neckline, went down, failed to break this structure, went up one more time and went up again. So what we're seeing is what we call you know a bullish double bottom, sorry. So yeah, so we can see if obviously the Fibonacci can show us in terms of the lows to the high of this trend. And as we can see here, price has perfectly tested the 38.2 ratio, showing this mini bullish trend we can see here from the low to the high. You can see that price has come and tested the 38.82. So this candle here should either close in terms of the weekly candle. So by the end of this week, this candle should either close above this price zone here, indicating there's a continuation to the upside, or if this candle closes below this price range, which can signify that there's a change in direction or there's a continuation to the downside to form a bearish structure, and price will continue downwards to the monthly support zone, which is around this price zone. So yeah, that's so far for the weekly time frame. So what we're expecting, either current weekly candle to either price would change or form a weak bearish candle here, which is suggesting that's a change in direction to the upside, or if a strong weekly candle, bearish candle, breaking it and coming and retesting it to form a continuation to the downside. So that is the two current situation we have right now. Now going on the daily, so we can see obviously the daily right now, all these are quite similar in terms of the daily, monthly, and time frame. You can see that the last, this is what we call like a last resistance here before price went up, came to in the form of the bullish, what we call high, high low, high low, high, all these things before price change structure or change the market conditions. So this is the current time frame we're looking at in terms of what is the next intraday move for NASDAQ based on market structure. Well, right now we have a bearish candle here, which obviously, as we can see here, this bearish candle here is signifying a what we call a support on the daily time frame. As we can see, that price, formed a support zone here, as we can test by the week the week candle performance of the Nasdaq for the past, since the 1st of September. We can see price hasn't been strong in terms of showing any sign of breaking this support zone here in order to in order to form like a bearish continuation to the downside. So yeah, so we would expect either a change in direction to the upside. So maybe price would, you know, and then upside to test the highs of this trend. You know, this is what we're looking at in terms of the current daily structure for NASDAQ. Unless price breaks this support zone here, I'm expecting a bullish continuation to the upside to see, the price go test this, you know, resistance that we have here, as we have a lot of liquidity that needs to be filled in terms of, all these candles here that needs to be filled to form like a continuation to the downside. So price coming in testing, you know, this all these are liquidities that need to be filled. So if price fails to break this daily structure, as we're seeing here, then I'm expecting a continuation or a change in direction to the upside to grab some sell liquidity, grab more liquidity, and then maybe we can see a drop or a break to the downside of this daily market trend. So yeah, that is my understanding of the market for the Nasdaq. Guys, see here for non-commercials, we can see that they closed almost 7,000 longs and opened 4K shorts. So which can mean that in the short term we might see a bearish drop to the downside. So yeah, that is the current situation for Nasdaq. So as I agree in terms of like there might be a break of that structure we're talking about on a daily time frame. So that obviously due to this closing of what we call longs and opening of shorts. However, due to the price action of the daily time frame for the past 5 days, there is not much strength on the bearish side. So yeah, I would I would definitely be looking out to see if there's a change in direction on a daily, and we might have some news coming. So on tomorrow, Wednesday, we have GDP for Australian dollar. We have the monetary policy meeting. We have the interest rate statement for the Canada. So there's a lot of high impacting news coming out tomorrow. So therefore, we should look out on that one as well and see what the Feds have in store. For obviously the GDP is important, another factor for economic growth. So all these things needs to be taken notice of, especially when you're trading the financial market. So please take in mind and obviously consider these things before you trade. So that's me done for today. Please let me know in your comments what you think, and peace.